Hi folks, welcome. Thanks for joining me. 30th of June. It's a hot day again. So yeah, those guys that you saw me throw yesterday, I'm now in the business of just trimming these. I've already done a few. So just tap center this. And just carving a foot on here. It's basically sort of cylindrical form. If you're trimming like that, when you've tap centered and he comes off, that's just a good opportunity to have a look at him. Let's check him out. So I've not finished him by just scrutinizing the sideways profile. I've got to now do the carve out the foot there. Well, hope you're all doing well out there, enjoying your summers wherever you are. So this kind of trimming is very dependent upon me as I trim with my index finger pushing down to keep that pot down, because if I didn't do that it would flip up. But there comes a time when I've got to remove that in the middle there where I had my finger on, and then I can't keep it down anymore. I just have to hope that it stays there. And most of the time it does, but you know, if it doesn't, well, you just take it off and have a little look at it. Alright. So yeah, there it is. So I've just got to go over the lip there, because where I had it face down, and I just like to just go over it with some water. And just using my fingers, you know, like that. Alright, so I've done a few of these. What I want to do is go over here, swing this over here, so you can see I've got my pigments here. So what I told you yesterday, what I wanted to do was to brush on some iron oxide. So, too many pots around here. So that's what I'm going to do. Up. That's it's to darken the clay, you see. Actually I might do upside down like that. Like that. In fact, if I put something there, I could put my finger on it. See if I've got something I could improvise to put on top of that, so I can press down. Oh, what about that? What about that indeed? Yes. It's like a lid from something. But that'll work, that'll work. That'll work, right. So as it's spinning round, I can just give a bit of downward pressure, you see. So I'm just going to take some of this iron oxide here. I don't want it too thick, I want it sort of a little bit watery, you know. So I'm just going to load this bigger type brush out. So we want this a little bit watery. Now, gotta figure out how I'm gonna. This lid is buckled, it's not flat. That's the problem. Whoa. Can't really get it to spin freely at the minute. That's okay, I'm not worried about this being too pretty at the minute. I'm just trying to get an extra layer. Okay, so if I've missed a bit like that, it doesn't matter. It's okay. Doesn't matter. Let's do another. Load up that little brush a bit. Actually, so this is not too. I'm a little bit experimenting at the minute, so I'm kind of, maybe I'll do some a little bit thicker and some no, I didn't really need that thing on the top because I'm spinning it successfully from underneath and it's not budging, so that's okay. That is okay. Next job I've got to do is get some clay out. I've got to put some clay over there behind me out on bats. So you can join me for that. It's a work day today. It's routine, a bit of pottery routine, you know. It's what life as a potter is all about, isn't it? It's not just sitting in front of a camera all day looking pretty. There's a lot of background things that have got to go on. Okay, so I've just sort of banded that on, you see. I'll do these, and some of them are a little bit like that, you see, where it's a little bit missed a bit there, but that's okay. That'll be fine. I'll discover when I actually come to fire these, and we'll see them. I'll try and get them in the kiln this week with some other pieces I've got here. I've got to do some, I've got to band all those tankards, and I've got to finish decorating some of these bowls that I did. which are also like hacker me. But I just wanted to show you the job I got to do. I haven't been looking forward to it really, but I've got to do it now. I'm running short of clay. So here on this little, put this light on, if it will go on. Why doesn't that go on? Maybe because it's not plugged in. Oh yeah, right, that's a good idea. That is a good idea. Still is not going on. Oh well, never worry, never mind. I guess there's enough light in it actually. So yeah, so these guys, actually I got them locally here from Milheim, from a friend of mine who bought a house from somebody who used to have a pottery there. These are kind of like inserts that go on the top of a wheel like this, so you're throwing, you know, they've all got this kind of arrangement like this, you see. I saw them around his house the other day and I said, wow, I said, do you want them? And he said, no. He said, do you want them? I said, sure, I'll take them because they're great for drying clay. So let's do that. Move this chair. So what you can do, you can make up plaster bats, which people do, and I've got videos out there about how to make up these plaster bats. And here's one that I made like years ago. Here. Well, that's the neighbour calling for the dog. So I made up these guys. So you see what happens. They can break. And when this plaster of Paris is your worst enemy in the pottery, you don't want to get any plaster in your clay. It will ruin your clay. So these ones are, I don't know, they seem a bit harder than that one I made down there. Anyway, let's just get some clay out. I've got quite a lot of clay that is like this, you see. So what I'm going to do is, see that? Ugh. This is real smelly clay. It's real stinky. So this is a recycling process where we have to. This is clay that I've in these buckets here, left over from workshops. After workshops, when people go home, I kind of recycle the clay out of the wheels, out of the throwing water. Really, it's really throwing water clay, you know, that's left down the bottom of the people's buckets. And I've got quite a lot of it now, kind of. Saved up, ready for me to do this. It's actually usually pretty nice clay to throw with this because it's, you know, it's the throwing water from the wheels, and it's very smooth particle clay because it's what kind of like the clay that is as a result of throwing your hand in contact with the clay. The clay that comes off on your hand from the lump of clay is very fine particle. It's the finest particle. It's the first pressing, if you like. If you think of like olive, you know, like olives, when you want to press the oil, it's that first pressing of the olives. It was, you could kind of compare it. It's like the first pressing of the clay as your hand, and it takes off this very, very nice. This clay is actually excellent for handling. If you wanted some good clay for handling, this would be the stuff. Ugh. Oh, this is not quite so soft in this bucket. Yeah, it's a messy business. It's a messy business, it might kind of overflow a bit here, but we'll try and keep it under control. So I generally sort of put it on, like say a couple of inches thick. It's probably about right. And this will be ready to take off these bats. Could even be later or today. It's now. It's I don't know what time it is. 5:30. But could be ready to take off. You know, even before bed tonight. It's always a good idea when you're doing this and you're drying out clay on plaster like this. Always make sure you take it off when it's a little bit on the soft side, because it will continue to sort of harden off a bit. So that's those. Another one here. Ugh. This is where it would be good to have a pug mill to kind of, like when this comes off, you know, and it's stiffened off, that would be a good time to put it through a pug mill. Certainly don't have one. One day I'll get one. Hopefully. Now. So I'll get these as clean as I can, these buckets, and what I can't, I'll let them dry out completely, and then I'll bang the sides and all the little shards will fall down into the bottom, and then I'll put them all together, and then I'll wash the buckets out. And that will be that. And another exciting day in the clay. So yeah. La 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 la. That's those. Another one here actually. Yet another one there hiding away. Ooh, this is a bit stiffer actually. Still needs to go on the bat. Not for too long though, this one is... So it kind of air dries, and it dries, it sucks from underneath. There are other ways of drying out clay. People, I've never done it myself, but people tell me, oh, you can put it in a pillowcase and hang it up, and so on and so forth. This actually works probably, I think, is as best as anything. I suspect this is the best way. So, yes. So there it is, another one done. Right. Got to wipe my hands off now, otherwise the camera is going to be like, it's going to turn into a work of art, that camera. Mind you, it's already a work of art. It's been dropped and the lens is scratched, and yeah, I've been making videos with this same camera for 8 years now on YouTube. Still going strong though. I think the videos are okay, even though it's got a little bit of a thing in the lens here. Sometimes you see it on a, if I put it to the light, you might catch it. There, you see that little blur just about there with my fingers. It's sort of a bit, sort of like a milky colour there. That's where it's got a nasty scratch actually. I think I put it in my pocket one day. Must have had some keys in there or something, and the little thing on the lens, you know, that little thing that opens and closes, must have opened and one of my keys must have. Hey, thanks for joining us, folks. It's just a little bit of pottery routine there for you to see. Okay, you saw me doing a bit of trimming. I've got a bit more to do. A little bit of banding there with that iron oxide and getting the clay out. It's all part of the day's work, isn't it, in pottery? That's right. Okay, look, if anybody's interested in this Leach wheel, give me a shout. I know there's somebody out there, brand new Leach wheel, needs a home. Okay, there's that. Workshops are ongoing, so there's a July, I think it's 18th workshop round about there. I'm filling that one up actually. I've got about 5 people so far, but you know, if you want to come on a workshop, you'll learn a lot more than you think, probably. Well, we just went to Simon Leach's workshop and he taught us how to make cylinders. Well, yeah, of course. Make them well though, to a gauge. That's got to be worth learning, isn't it? Making things to a gauge. Huh? That's how you really learn, by repeating again and again, one after another. You really hone your skills. So it's really basic training, very important. And a lot of other things we'll touch on as well, like kneading, wedging, handling, pulling handles. Alright? Hang on in there. Keep practicing. I'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us. God bless you. Bye bye.